Hello, I am Father Smoke, and welcome to the Void. In 1952, the Orlando Sunland Mental Hospital went by a different name, W.T. Edwards Tuberculosis Hospital. All of the hospital buildings were identical. The main buildings were each very long and thin, containing 5 floors, while smaller wings were positioned off of the main building. When a tuberculosis vaccine was discovered, there was no longer a need for the hospitals, and the W.T. Edwards hospitals were all closed by the 1960s. The facilities were reopened as Sunland Training Centers in 1961, after being taken over by the Florida Department of Health. As a residential facility, the Orlando Sunland Division offered care to severely disabled adults and children. During the first decade of its existence, however, the division faced some crippling developments, mainly due to understaffing and financial difficulties. After reports of abuse and neglect in the 1970s, ranging from rodent bites to physical abuse, an investigation was conducted. It was reported that a shortage of staff and equipment caused severe complications, including upper respiratory infections, urinary tract infections, skin breakdowns, and nutritional problems for patients. In terms of the Orlando Sunland Center, investigations revealed over 400 of the patients had gastric feeding tubes and were fed a cereal-like gruel 3 times a day. While promises by the state and staff to reform felt unfulfilled, Sunland was forced to close its facilities in 1993 after a federal class action lawsuit was filed on behalf of the patients for gross neglect and abuse. The building would lie vacant for many years until 1997, when a young man would be critically injured after falling down one of the elevator shafts. Lobbying began for the building demolition. The building would be torn down the following year, closing a dark chapter in Orlando's history, or so everyone may have thought. After the building was demolished, the city decided a playground would go nicely where the hospital once stood. In the years since the playground was built, many people have reported strange activities. Such reports include the sound of children's laughter, even when the park is empty. EVPs and the sightings of apparitions are a common occurrence, as well as lights being seen coming from the park at night and swings moving all on their own, as if ghosts of the hospital are coming back to enjoy the playground as well. The Dead Children's Playground is located in Huntsville Maple Hill Cemetery in Alabama. Built in 1882, the cemetery covers over 100 acres of land. This cemetery houses many urban legends, where many children lost their lives in Huntsville during the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918. Most of them were buried in Maple Hill, alongside a rash of children abductions in the 1960s, and the bodies of the children were found in the area of the playground. Since that time, strange anomalies have occurred on the cursed ground where the dead lay. As the legend states, the spirits of those children come out to play in the inked night Much of this phenomenon occurs between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m., when the witching hour slithers its way into the portals of the dead and the living, spilling out into physical and auditory manifestations where swings move on their own, children call out giggling, and the corpses of those innocent lives lay above the intervened ground, writhing in pain.